Hi guys, welcome to the James Bond Show. I'm your host, as usual, Krazy Kajeevie, the bad boy of James Bond, and I am back. I just want to let you all know I did make 2 videos in January, but both were removed by YouTube because I spoke about certain things that apparently went against their community standards or guidelines. So I'm not going to go to those places anymore. I'm just going to keep things on this channel strictly related to James Bond and all things in the James Bond world. However, all I will say is regarding this pandemic, I just hope, and the vaccine, I just hope everyone does their research. And I'm sure YouTube won't have an issue with me saying that everyone should do their research and become well informed and make their own decisions based around the information they find. So that's all I'll say on that. Okay guys, I'm going to jump straight into now talking about reshoots and delays. Now I did try and upload a video on this. I made one, tried to upload it. I was banned for a week and then I was banned for 2 weeks. So I'm unbanned now, and if this show ever does disappear, you'll find it on BitChute pretty soon. But I'll stick to the rules of YouTube for now. So let's have a talk about reshoots first, and then we'll get into delays. Okay, so in short, reshoots. There's rumors of reshoots, specifically apparently Nokia wanting reshoots because when No Time to Die was filmed back in 2000, what was it now? 2019, wowza, 2 years ago they were filming. And they used what's now considered old technology. I'm not going to harp on about this long because other James Bond shows or who do James Bond content have spoken about this. I'm not going to harp on too much, but I am going to give my quick opinion. In short, I think tough luck. I also think in the middle of what's going on in London that there's no way that the James Bond producers are going to even be able to get the crew and cast, etc., to come back and reshoot scenes. So I think at best for Nokia, I don't think NPL are going to worry, because here's the thing: if Daniel Craig is wearing an NPL top, right? Speaking of tops, this here is by my lovely friend Frank Hughes, who has a printing company set out of Spain, but he sends all around the world, and he made this awesome top for me. So the James Bond Show with Krazy Kajeevie. So thank you very much, Frank Hughes. And in the next episode, I will leave a link. I'll try and do one in this channel, in this show, but in the next show I'll leave a link to Frank's business. So I really love this. Thank you so much, Frank Hughes. Okay, so as I was saying, like with an NPL top or NPL clothing, that sort of stuff can still be available, and I would imagine those sort of companies would make that clothing available when the film does come out. So with Nokia, I can understand them being a little bit concerned and upset about an old phone. However, I don't know if MGM Eon had a clause, or maybe in future they will have clauses for films not being able to be released during pandemics, etc. So it's kind of interesting, but I think at best CGI. I think it's going to have to be some CGI cut into it. Now, of course, that's going to cost a bit of money because we don't want a Henry Cavill kind of Justice League situation where they had to remove his moustache via CGI, and it looked absolutely terrible. I thought the guy had Down syndrome in that film, so it just looked so bad. So, yeah, they're not going to reshoot. There's no way they're going to reshoot, and there's still no guarantee that the film's not even going to get a cinematic release. So I kind of think a little bit tough luck. Also, what I want to say on this is I have a background. I used to work as a visual merchandiser as well. Now, there's such a thing called POS, point of sale. So when the film was coming out, and prior to its release, there has been lots of advertisement for these companies anyway. that came out around the time and around April, etc. And the phones went on sale, so there's no doubt on the Nokia website and with other point of sale opportunities, they would have been advertising their product anyway. So, and I don't think the general fan, I think James Bond fans will still go out, especially collectors, and get those phones and get those products. So I don't think it's going to affect the bottom line so much. I think it's more a name association with Nokia or NPL or Adidas, or as the Americans call it, Adidas, you know, being associated with James Bond in the image. I think that's more what you're paying for rather than this specific phone or this specific piece of clothing, etc. So that's my view on that, guys. Kind of think tough luck, maybe do some CGI, but you're not getting the film reshot. That's just nuts. With delays, okay, so I did speak about delays in the 2 videos that were removed, so I'll go over that subject again. Well, I've got to admit, I think out of all the pushbacks, I think this is the most disappointing one for me personally. I can't speak on behalf of everyone else. I know a lot of people out there are disappointed. I also know a lot of James Bond fans just don't care anymore, especially the old school James Bond fans that don't believe that No Time to Die has been made for them anyway. So many I know believe this is going to be a 168-minute woke fest and killing of James Bond and handing the 007 number over to Know Me Anyway in a politically correct, nonsensical move to appease left-wing puppets who don't actually show up to the cinema anyway to see a James Bond film and will forever bitch about James Bond being a macho white male character, which is just, it's just crazy. James Bond's brought so much fun to people around the world and so much tourism and advertising, everything all around the world, from the Bahamas to England, everywhere. So James Bond has been great since the early 60s to now. Big money maker and kept everyone happy. But apparently, let's just go and change all that to appease the people that don't rock up to the cinema anyway. So the delay now is October 2nd. My personal belief is this is a mistake. Now, of course, MGM and Eon know more about everything than I do. They're across more things than I do, and they're looking after their bottom line, so I get that. But my opinion is, because of the way everything is going on in the world, I believe they should have taken advantage of clear territory. So if you look at China's very clear. Now Eon wanted and MGM wanted that Chinese market. China is very clear. They could release it in China. England's the biggest issue, and I understand. England, they're looking at least $150 million. So if they release in England, $150 million. However, I think again, the real James Bond fans will want to see this at the cinema. So even if it's released in other territories and people download it, put it on the internet, which obviously Eon and MGM can fight and get those things torn down, though if it goes on Pirate Bay, I believe that's a bit more of an issue. And people are probably going to make DVD copies, etc. I get that. But I think that's going to equate to a very small amount at the box office. And here's why. Because come October the 8th, there may not be cinemas. And the only cinemas that may survive will be the biggest chains. So, what I think Eon should do is release it in territories now. Australia is pretty clear. Of course, certain things have been, if you're keeping up to date, guys, especially in Western Australia, they've shut Western Australia down for a period of 5 days because of one case. And we now have one case in Victoria, and there's threats of locking down Victoria over one case. So if I were Eon and MGM, I'd take advantage, release it in parts of Europe that are clear, release it in parts of the USA that are clear, and release it in Australia, and then get the film out either on co-streaming and Blu-ray, or just as many cinema spots as you can, then Blu-ray. They're not going to make the projected probably $1 billion or just under $1 billion that they thought they were going to make. Or another idea I had, now I don't know how feasible this is, but obviously Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli are worth millions. So I'm thinking, do they look at buying MGM out? Do they look at buying the rights of No Time to Die out from MGM? Do they look at that possibility and completely owning it outright and then doing what they want with it? Because what's going to happen when MGM sells, especially if they sell to a company like Disney, there's going to be a lot of issues. So I think Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson may want to look at even buying MGM. Now, there could be a price tag there of $4 billion, but I have a feeling that Eon have a lot of money in the savings accounts. And of course, they could get loans, etc. However, cinemas aren't that viable anymore, especially if this pandemic keeps going and going. So that's a tough one too. So I'm not saying I've got the ultimate suggestion there. I'm just wondering if it's worth looking at buying MGM out. MGM are paying, to those people that are saying, oh look, you know, I've got no issue with them now, why don't they just hold it back and make it the 60th anniversary film? I'm sorry, but people coming up with that stuff are completely unrealistic to the fact that MGM are literally paying $1 million a month in interest on the loan that they took out to make this film. So holding it back for even a day more than they need to is completely ridiculous and not feasible. Guys, I would love to know, as usual, in the comment section below, what do you think? Do you think they should do reshoots to appease these companies? And do you think they made the right decision by holding it back to October 8th? Do you think they should just ask for a lesser price with, you know, streaming services, maybe Netflix, etc.? What do you guys think they should do? Is it even possible that Eon produce their own streaming service? Is that possible? They've got back catalogue of James Bond films. Could they then, you know, use the future to make straight to TV productions of James Bond? Could they do that? James Bond Jr. maybe, etc. So I don't know. I think there's a bunch of things there to look at, or maybe I'm just speaking some crazy ideas. I don't know. Let me know, guys, in the comment section below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, guys, then make sure you smash that subscribe button and join us here. Now, I'm going to be very, very busy over the next few days, but my plan is to bring you a very specific video. I'm going to bring out a video on the potential casting of Reggie Jean Paul, I believe his name is, the black actor who's half British, half Zimbabwean, and the hype around Reggie Jean Paul. That is going to be my next video. Hopefully it will come out tomorrow night. More than likely it will come out tomorrow night, because that's the best time for me able to do it with how busy I'm about to be over the next 4 days. So that is going to be a very interesting video. I'm going to be looking at that. It's not one you're going to want to miss, especially with my reputation of saying it how it is and how much I believe James Bond should be played by a white British actor. Until then, have a look up Reggie Jean Paul, check him out, look at the comments and the hype going around it, and then when you do watch the video coming out tomorrow afternoon, you'll be more informed of why I say the things I'm going to be saying in that video. Take care, guys. I've been Krazy Kajeevie for the James Bond Show. Till next time, keep on bonding. Say hi to your mum for me, and I didn't say anything. I think he took the vaccine. Come here. Did you take the vaccine? Are you alright? Are you okay? Oh, you poor little